Hey, what's up, my friend? Welcome back to this week's market analysis, right? To be honest, I had a glitch with my webcam earlier, right? It shows a black screen, right? So I'm wondering what is wrong, right? So I've update the driver, restart my computer, and I'm glad to say things are fine. And you can see me right now, right? So anyway, right? Today's market analysis, I just want to share with you a few markets I'm watching, namely the euro currency pairs and the pound currency pairs. Okay, so but before we get to it, right, just let me say one thing is that, for those of you who are new, right, to what I do, okay, is each week I publish a video sharing my thoughts on the market. I talk about the trading setups I'm looking, the losses I had, the winners I had, my thought process, psychology, and basically a lot more, right? So it's like a trading journal, right? Like a video journal of my trading on a week to week basis. So my hopes here is not for you to, copy exactly what I do, because that is impossible, right? But rather, my hope is that, you can take the essence of what I do, right? The principles, the stuff, the techniques that works for me, and hopefully, it works for you as well, right? So take what makes sense to you and ignore the stuff that, has no relevance to your trading. So I would say this is the best way, for you to move your trading forward. Okay, because no two traders will trade exactly the same, but hey, they can trade based on similar principles. And this is what the weekly market analysis is for, right? To share with you the principles and techniques that work for me, and hopefully to share them with you and to help you become a consistently profitable trader. Okay, so that's all, and let's begin this week's video, shall we? Okay, so as you already know by now that yesterday, or rather today, depending which part of the world you're in, we had the French election, right? So the result came out, and basically most, or rather I think all of the euro pairs that I've watched, right, have essentially gapped higher, and now is currently trading lower. And if you ask me, right, I'm actually pretty uncertain of what to do, right? So I would most likely just stay out of these pairs at this point in time, right? If you look at this is the euro dollar chart. You can see that price has essentially opened up here above these highs, and right now it's trading lower here. Okay, so would I want to short, right? I won't necessarily want to short yet, because a concern that I have is that I noticed this market has formed, right, higher lows, right, higher lows into this area of resistance. And usually when you see this type of pattern, right, it is a sign of strength from the buyers, because they are able to push price higher over time. So a good possibility is for price to come down, retest this trend line, and then continue trading higher. Okay, so at this point in time, right, again, even though it looks bearish at this point in time, right, I won't want to short it because of this upward sloping trend line. And if you pull out the 200 MA, right, price is above it as well. So this couple of factors, right, would rather put me on the sideline instead. Okay, so similar story on the Euro Aussie. You can see this one price is above the 200 MA. And if you get out the trend line, you can see that price is forming higher lows, higher lows, higher lows into this area of resistance, right? So do I want to short, right? Not really, right? Doesn't really look too enticing. So I'll rather just stay out in the meantime. So don't worry, right? Even though there is nothing on the euro pairs right now, I see something on the pound dollar, right? So pound dollar is something I want to share with you, because if you look at the weekly time frame, right, you know that ever since the Brexit event, the pound has basically plummeted lower, pulled back, smash lower, and then consolidate for pretty much close to a year. Alright, if you look at the daily price action, you see that this market has basically been in the range sometime since September 2016, okay, and recently broke above it. Alright, so this is a sign that the bulls are, the buyers are coming in. Alright, so a few clues that this tells me why this is so is because, number one, again, price has finally closed back above the 200 period moving average, right? Often traders ask me, hey Rainer, how do I know whether should I be long or short, right? So a very simple filter that I keep telling traders is just refer to the 200 period moving average. If price is above it, then you look to long. If price is below it, you look to short, right? It's not perfect, but it will put you on the right side of the trend more often than not. So this is a very simple filter that I use, right? So since now the pound dollar has, two things, right? Number one, close above the 200 period moving average. Number two, it has closed above this area of resistance, right? So these are two factors going for it. And number three, you can see that we have this strong bullish candle closing higher, right? And number four, if you zoom out, right, you know that this could potentially be a potential accumulation stage, right? So basically the market moved from four stages, right? Accumulation stage, then it goes to the advancing stage, then it goes to the distribution stage, and finally it declines once again. So this is a brief summary. So from the looks of it, right, this looks like a potential accumulation stage, right? So how can you trade this pound dollar? So there are a few ways you can go about doing it. Let me share with you the first way, right? This is trading off the daily time frame. So from what I'm seeing right now, there is a potential flag pattern that is forming. Okay, so if the market, if pound dollar can, consolidate for another 2 to 3 more candles like this, right, I'll be inclined to place a buy stop order above this high in anticipation that the move will continue higher. Then I'll set my stop loss 1 ATR below this low. So this is the first scenario. Second scenario, right, this is the 4-hour time frame, right? This is where we are going to, enter the breakout before the breakout, right? I talked about this perhaps a month ago or so. But basically, you are trying to position yourself in a trade before the breakout occurs. And this is pretty much an advanced technique if you ask me. So you can see that on the 4-hour time frame, right, this is pretty much a smaller area of support. So if price can come into this area of support, then it gets rejected and close higher, right? I would be inclined also to go long on this false breakout, right, in anticipation that the market would continue trading higher. So whichever setup comes first, right, I would take that setup, right? But I won't trade both because I don't want to, amplify my risk on just one currency pair. So this is the pound dollar. Okay, and what else can I share with you today? All right, how about a trade that I took some time back, right? It's a winning trade. I'll just be honest. But again, if you have followed me, for a while now, you know that I pretty much share my losses and winners pretty openly, right? There's nothing to hide. So this is a very straightforward setup that I think most of you are probably familiar with, right? So this is the dollar against the African rand. So this is again the 200 MA. Price is, at this point, price is below it, correct? And we have this area of resistance over here. So I went short when this candle opened over here. On this next candle, the candle opened, I went short. My stop loss is basically 1 ATR above this high. So you can see that price rallied higher, tried to trick me out of my trade, but it did not because my stops happened to be wide enough, and then it continued trading lower. So this is a trend following trade. So what I did is I simply trailed my stop loss, right? And I believe I exited somewhere here, right, when price basically hit my trailing stop loss over here. So I was trailing with 3 times the average true range. Okay, so just need to pull out your average true range indicator, multiply it by 3, right? And from this low, you add the 3 ATR above and see where is the level, right? So this itself kept me for this this chunk of the move, right? Pretty much stayed in this dollar African rand trade, right? So if you don't want to use the ATR indicator, you can see that there are numerous ways you can use to trail your stop loss. For example, above the previous highs, like this is the previous highs, you can trail your stop here, 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 and you'll probably be taken out somewhere here. Okay, so this is pretty much a trend following trade, and you can see that the setups that I share with you, often is pretty much the same thing, just that some trades will run further, will catch a trend. Some trades will hit your stop loss. Some trades will be just a break even or a small win, small loss. So there's really no way to predict ahead of time, which trade is going to be a winner or which trade is going to be a loser, right? This is pretty much the fact of trading, or rather, a fact of trading, right? There's no way to predict which are the winners and losers. Okay. So yeah, right. I think I'll just keep today's video short, right? Hope you managed to get something out of it, and do keep a lookout on the pound dollar. And oh yeah, before I end, right, I believe a similar setup is occurring on the pound New Zealand as well. You can see that this market basically, right, similar to the pound dollar in terms of structure, this range, then it broke out, and right now we have this somewhat of a flag pattern over here. Again, you can apply the same technique that I shared with you on the pound dollar. If you go down to the 4-hour time frame, you can go look for a potential, right, a false break of this area of support in anticipation that price would continue trading lower, or the daily time frame, a breakout of this potential flag pattern. Right? So yeah, that's all I have for you in this week's market analysis. A quick recap, right? We talk about the euro. I said I'm undecided. I'm staying out because I have no idea what is going on. Number 2, I talk about the pound dollar, how I'm bullish on it and how I'm looking to trade it. Number 3, share with you a trade I took on the dollar African rand. And last but not least is this pound New Zealand trade, which has a very similar setup as this pound dollar. Okay, so if you have enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the subscribe button below and the like button. And with that, I wish you good luck and good trading. I'll talk to you soon.